Sometimes you're scared that, oh, I don't want to lose this person. I'm this and I'm in this relationship where you're scared. But then, have you thought of your past relationships? Some of you might have had past relationships where you've broken. You know, at the time when you had that relationship with the person, you'll be wondering, oh, if I love this person so much, I can't leave this person. If I leave this person, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. My life is not going to be the same, you know? But then eventually maybe you break up with the person and then you're looking at the person and you're asking yourself, are you kidding? Was I actually in a relationship with this person? Are you sure? You know, are you really sure that I dated this person and I was actually in love? You know, you've forgotten at the time that you were thinking in your head, you were worrying that, oh God, if this person leaves me, then that's going to be the end of the world. Sometimes we become so obsessed with worrying. You know, I used to be obsessed with worrying. I see a missed call from my mom and I'm worried. I see a missed call from my sisters, I'm worried. You know, I just worry about unnecessary things. And if you're watching this, I know that you might have at some point in your life experienced worrying about things that you shouldn't worry about. And of course, you get people who say, don't worry, don't worry. It's always very easy to say, do not worry, you know, because sometimes it becomes part of our daily lives, it becomes part of us to worry. But after so many years, because trying to get rid of worry is something that comes with making a conscious decision, and it requires a bit of critical thinking to say, okay, I need to stop this now. And I had to say to myself that you need to stop worry, because to be honest, why worry about things that has not happened? Or why worry about things that are in the future? Now, sometimes we tend to worry about the future because of what has happened in the past, which is okay, you know. So the worry in the past sort of creates fear and anxiety, you know, that maybe similar thing will happen in future. But the question is, worrying about the future is something that can be, well, there's some that you might not be able to stop, and there's some that you can actually work towards and avoid them. So it's a two-way thing. It's either you work towards stopping that thing or stopping that worry from happening, or it's beyond your control, and all you need to do is accept that this is what it is. It is beyond my control. There's nothing I can do about it, and let it come and it will go. But to be honest, do you know that there's sometimes you worry about so many things and then eventually you realize that that thing does not happen, and then you ask yourself, why have I been worried? So we're going to be talking a lot about that today. And yes, if this is the first time you're joining us, thanks for joining. This is the Bola Adeyeye Omishade Show, a community where we support people to be a best and a best version of themselves. Thank you for joining us. Do not forget to subscribe and click on the notification button so that you do not miss our future episodes. And yes, to those that are my returning viewers, yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm excited that you are here again. Yeah, hopefully, and we're going to enjoy this together. Yes, so worrying. Worrying is, you know, I worried so much that my siblings, when it comes to maybe something has happened, or you know, something not to worry about, they try not to give me a call, because as actually sometimes I say, please do not call me, If you don't have anything that is important to talk about, or do not call me, Yes, but I became so obsessed with worry. You want to write exams, and then you're worrying so much. I was going to write an exam recently, and I kept worrying, and I was worrying, and I was doing nothing about it. I had the books I intended to read, right? So it's all over. I wasn't reading them, and I was just worrying about failing. And then at some point I had to say to myself, you're worrying and you're not even making effort. You're worrying about not failing, isn't it? Okay. But you're not making efforts to pick up the book and read them, So what I did was I said, okay, you need to stop now. Get those books, pick them up and start reading, because you still have time to prepare for this exam, read for this exam, and you would not fail for it. You would not fail the exam. And that was exactly what I did. But then there are two sides. If I probably did not read or did not prepare for the exam, it is either I fail the exam, okay, because I'm worried that I'll fail, or I'm worried that people would say, oh, you failed this exam, or have you done this exam? Did you fail? Or, and yes, but if you're not making efforts to avoid that thought, that virtual thought that you have, then it's going to happen. But at the same time, you need to think about, what is the worst case? What is the worst thing that would happen if I fail this exam? It's either I have to retake the exam, or maybe I have to repeat the class, no? Or maybe even if people will talk about it, they talk about it the first week, the second week, and it's gone, A lot of people, including myself, we worry about what people will think, which it's part of the human nature. We tend to worry about, oh, what are they going to feel? What's my mom going to think? What's my dad going to think? What's my brother, sister, But I know you would have experienced a situation where something has happened, and then maybe they talk about it the first week, and then this is still very hot the first week. The second week, everybody is looking at you, The third week, you're back to normal, and everybody is forgotten about it, So, and that's what it is. So why would you waste time looking at the track from the past? If a car is driving, I remember when I was younger, my brother, he drives my mom's car in the school, and then the car which he wasn't supposed to do, and that's in my dad's school, and then we go and start cleaning the track of the car, But what am I trying to say in essence is, when a car is driving, you can only see the track, or maybe a motorcycle or whatever is driving. You can only see of where it has been, and not where it is going to. Okay, so you can. It can only, to be honest, to an extent, it can tell you where you're going. Maybe if you're going in a straight line, or maybe it only gets you to where you are. That is the now. That track only gets you to where you are. So if somebody wants to trace where you have been, they would only trace the path up to where you are. And that is what the past is. But that track will not take you to the future. It can say this is where this person is, but it will not take you to the future. So why are you worried about the past? Why are you letting what has happened in the past influence the future? And the moment you begin to worry, your mind begins to accept that worry is what it is. Your body begins to accept it. I say to my husband, sometimes he's worried, especially with COVID, and then he's having a little bit of headache, and then, he's panic, which is okay, it's normal. But you see, the moment you start panicking, it your body begins to accept that that is what it is. And I was saying to him one of the days, I said, you go to bed, you lie on the bed and say to yourself, I am ill or I'm sick. You just automatically start becoming ill, even when you are not, because you're just laid there and you are feeling ill. Your body begins to say that I am ill, and you're sad. I want to make money. I want to, but what are you doing to make money? What effort are you putting in place? What plans have you got in place to make money? And then you just begin to worry and not do anything about it. You fold your arms and not do anything about the worry. So what am I trying to say? Excellent. The first thing is there are two sides. If you're worrying about something, you need to ask yourself, what is the worst case? What is the worst thing that would happen? And if you put that, you lay them down straight, and this applies with you asking, making a request. I always say this to people. If you don't ask, even the Bible says, ask and it shall be given. And you see, when you ask, it's either a yes or a no. So it's better to ask and know that, satisfy your conscious mind that I have asked, and the person said yes or no, as opposed to not asking, and then you start worrying, or even before asking, you're worried already. Don't get me wrong, this is something very, very hard. And I'm not an expert, do you understand, in advice. I'm just sharing my experience of how I handle this sort of things. Because when they say I have a PhD in worrying, and those around me know that, but I have to be conscious about it. My immediate elder sister, for a long time, she's always emotional, and I used to worry a lot. I worry when I see her status, I'm worried, but at some point I had to say to myself, eventually she said to me, I'm okay, why are you worrying? So I had to be conscious about it, to say, stop now, stop worrying about her. She's okay. She's just being herself. So you have to be conscious about it. You have to be conscious about it and say, okay, what is the worst case that would happen? And I'll give you another example. It's with relationships, you see. Sometimes you're scared that, oh, I don't want to lose this person. I'm in this relationship where you're scared. But then, have you thought of your past relationship? Some of you might have had past relationships where you've broken. At the time when you had that relationship with the person, you'll be wondering, oh, if I love this person so much, I can't leave this person. If I leave this person, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. My life is not going to be the same, But then eventually maybe you break up with the person, and then you're looking at the person and you're asking yourself, are you kidding? Was I actually in a relationship with this person? Are you sure? Are you really sure that I dated this person and I was actually in love? You've forgotten at the time that you were thinking in your head, you were worrying that, oh God, if this person leaves me, then that's going to be the end of the world. So there are some things that we should not even worry about. If the breakup comes, it comes. It's not going to be easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy. You're going to take time to recover from the heartbreak, if it's a heartbreak, or you're going to get time to blend. But give it the first week, the second week, the third week. Your body would, or your mind would just automatically get used to it and accept that is what it is, and you move on. What am I trying to say in essence? Why do you worry about the future? There's nothing you can do about it. Accept it, that's what it is. If it is something that is beyond your control, because you need to think, is this something that I can resolve? Is this something that I can make plans to avoid? Or is this something that I can't absolutely do nothing about it? So those are the two things. And if it's something that you need to do something about, or just like the examination I was giving you example about, prepare. Because when you are prepared, you will be confident that, oh, yes, I'm going to pass this exam, so just back to the exam that I said I had, and I prepared for it, although I was still worried, but I tried not to worry. I prepared, and when I was writing the exam, and sometimes when you write exam and you're sure that, oh yes, I got this, this is just for me, and then I did the exam, I was really excited. But you see, and I did the assess it was an assessment, actually. I did that as an assessment center, and then I would only see the result when I get home, maybe about few hours later or so, and I was worried. I was worried again about the assessments, even though I knew that those questions, I just knew them. I knew they were the right answers, and I was worried. So what did I do? I didn't go home straight. Instead, I was just at the time when I finished the exam, I was going to just get a taxi and go straight. And then I said, no, you need to train yourself. What I did is I distracted myself and I went shopping. And to be honest, I did not go back to that result until after like maybe 3-4 hours. I tried to control how I felt, because I would have just spent time worrying, and maybe I'd called the taxi and the taxi was not coming, and all that. So get rid of your future worries. Do not worry. It's always two sides to a coin. It's either it's something you can control, which you can work towards, or it's something that you cannot control. And if it's something you cannot control, you need to prepare your mind and accept it. Accept it, give it some time. If people would talk about it, they'll talk about it the first week, the second week, and it will be over. And yes, yes, some things are inevitable. I know it can be very, very hard. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's life. That is the life we are in. And I'm not saying this from a place of being a perfect person. I am actually guilty of this same thing that I'm talking about. Yeah, but I feel that this might be for somebody today. If you have that thing you're worried about, you need to ask yourself, can I do something? Can I change it? Can I work towards avoiding this thing from happening? So do not spend time dwelling on that worry. Spend time preparing to avoid that worry. Spend time making plans, putting plans in place, or putting things in the right order, so that that thing you're worrying about, if it's something that is bad, or if it's something that would end up making you unhappy, would not happen. Spend time doing that, and of course, accept the worry if it's beyond your control. And yeah, this is it for today. If you have found this very useful, yes, do not hesitate to give it a thumbs up. And yes, thank you for joining me today. Do not forget to share it with your family, share it with your friends. And yeah, and just before I go also, I hope you all had a very good Christmas. We're looking forward to a great new year. You all stay healthy and safe. This is Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and I'll see you next week. Bye.